Hello, listeners, wherever you might be around the world. You're listening to The Wolfe and Thorn, Season 2, Episode 3. My name is CC Thornley, and I play banjo.
And I'm Emily Wolfe, and I play the violin.
And this podcast is all about Tasmanian folk tunes, and we will play you 5 folk tunes from Tasmania every week, minimum, and chat a little bit about the tunes. What's been happening for you this week? Anything interesting or noteworthy?
Well, we had a gig on Friday.
Did we?
Yeah, we played at Rectango.
Oh, we played at Rectango with the Electric Funk Banjo Band.
Yeah, we did. That was good fun.
That's the Black Swans of Trespass, if anyone's interested. Google that up.
Google that up. That was a pretty good gig.
Yeah, that was fun.
Just been chilling out. We've been busy working. Well, you've been busy working.
I have. I'm doing the universities.
You're doing the university thing, and I'm teaching small children.
Oh, I don't know which is harder. But I just handed my last essays in today. So
congratulations.
Thank you very much.
You should feel relieved.
I should. I feel slightly angry.
You walked in going, you seem very angry today.
Shut up!
No, he wasn't telling me to shut up. He's just telling his feelings to shut up.
Yeah, I do that a lot. It's a great way to deal with your feelings.
Just tell him to shut up.
Shut up! Oh, God! Stop watching the last episode of MASH and just shut up!
Don't watch the last episode of MASH.
Yeah.
Don't do it to yourself. And
speaking of shows you shouldn't watch that are much better than you remembered, or much worse than you remembered they were, you remembered them much more better than what they actually was. Monkey is available on Netflix, and I've been watching it and realising, I love this show, but I remember once there was a fella who was really into the goodies, and I was sitting in a room with some younger folks, and he and I grew up. He was slightly older than me, but I remember the goodies, and he made us watch the goodies, and he raved and ranted about it and put on the goodies, and I'm watching it going, yes, I do love the goodies. It's very nostalgic. It's very good. And the kids just were not, my kids, they were like 30. They were just not into it. And he was very disappointed, and that's kind of how I feel about Monkey. There's a tangential aside for you, so we'll get back to you.
I saw that advertised on Netflix, and I thought, I don't know what that is.
You never saw it? You never grew up? Because you were born...
I was born not the same era as you.
In 89, and I was born in 74.
Yes.
So I had that era where... we were brought up by the TV between the hours of 3:30 and 6 o'clock, and Monkey and Doctor Who were part of that upbringing. But Monkey was mind-blowing back in the day. It was mind-blowing in 1985. And it was already 10 years old then. But what it taught me was 2 things. It taught me all about transsexualism and Buddhism. Those 2 things aren't related. Yes, because...
Maybe I feel like I should just give it a chance.
This is why I think a lot of my generation were some of the first to really... come out of the closet and really challenge gender stereotypes in the way they do. Because the lead character in Monkey was a priest called Tripitaka, and that's supposed to be a boy, but it was played by one of the hottest centerfolds in Japan at the time, a female. And as a young fella, I'm like, why is that boy so hot? I had no idea what was going on. Turns out there's a whole cultural reason why she was played by a there's your cat trying to get in. There's a whole reason why the boy was played by a girl. Hilarious. Which if you want to look into, you can, but I won't waste any more time on it other than say Monkey is terrific. But the original story of the Journey to the West and the Monkey King is just as good.
Yep.
All the things that happened in the TV show happened in the book that was written in 700 AD.
Fantastic introduction to our episode 3 podcast.
Yep, there you go. It's all about Tasmanian folk music, ladies and gentlemen.
We're going tangents and my meowing cat.
Yes.
Apologies about that. She wants to come in. She's looking through the window. But
she wants to come in. She wants to go out. Wants to come back in.
If I let her in, she'll just meow all the way through. So
and she's got a lot to say about folk music.
If you hear the meow in the background, it's just for your pleasure.
Yeah.
So we're gonna have our first tune. Do you want to talk about this tune?
Yeah, so today's tunes we've got... Now, a lot of people will question whether these are, in fact, heritage tunes or not. But this is the beautiful thing that we've been preaching about Tasmanian folk music, is that it is a ongoing thing. It's growing, and it's... Because we're not a young country, we're an ancient country, but the invading culture that's us, that's the paradigm here, is still evolving and coming to terms with itself. And it's still drawing on resources. It's still drawing things in. And so people come to the island. In fact, I want to give a quick a shout out to, if you're interested in podcasts, there's a podcast by a fellow called Mark Thompson, and it's called 177 Nations. And he goes around, there's supposed to be in the Tasmanian community 177 people, different foreign nations, different foreign cultures represented. And he's gone around and interviewed a member of every one of these and talked about their experiences coming to Tasmania and what it was like and so on and so forth. And our folk music is very much like that. It's like people are still coming and contributing and giving us gifts from their culture. And we take them in and off they go, and we never see them again, and we get their tunes into the shed and we pull them apart and we reassess them and we put the motor in where the boot is and take the wheels off and all that sort of stuff and gradually digest them, I guess is the word I'm looking for. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to be looking at a few tunes that have been gifted to us in very recent times that have been played at dances, that have been played at concerts, and various things like that. So we're looking at this beautiful view at the moment, looking out across the Derwent River here, and every now and then this cat's head just pops up in the window and meows at us.
I feel like I should just go and tend to that, but I'll leave her.
No, it'll be great.
It'll be great. She's fine, by the way, listeners. She's fine. She looked very comfy on the balcony. She's just having her say.
What do you want, cat? This is the thing about cats. That, like, what do you really want?
Probably.
Do you need to go and let her in, or is she...
I'll just do that. You could talk about how you came across the Jasmine, which is the tune we're going to play.
All right. So, sorry about those distractions, folks. Now, the first song we're going to play that fits into this category of new additions to the canon. This is actually an ancient Chinese folk song that's very, very popular in China, and it was a song that I was taught when I was at the conservatorium with one of the Chinese exchange students, and he played it on erhu, which is the 2-string Chinese fiddle, and I played it on banjo, and we would sit in the rehearsal room and jam and explore each other's instruments, and I actually exchanged some songs with him, gave him a few Australian tunes and so on and so forth. I took this tune then back to the fiddle ensemble, and it was such a beautiful tune, so they really enjoyed playing it. Now, it's one that we haven't played at a dance, so it doesn't fit into that side of the folk heritage tradition, but it's one that we have played at concerts. And so it's also the music in our repertoire. There is, I think, the Anglo-Celtic is very overrepresented. And we have had people in China contribute to Australia from the very get-go, even before whitefellas were here. The Chinese were trading with the people up north and so on and so forth. But there's very little in our musical repertoires that reflects the Chinese input. So it's really nice to have this tune. And it may not be exactly as it is officially approved of by the Chinese government. But I think you'll agree with me.
It's a lovely tune.
It's quite nice.
Really nice. So we're going to play it for you now. The Jasmine.
Yeah, I hope I get this right. So
yeah. We'll just play it through once.
All right. Okay. You ready?
Yep.
Okay. That was the Jasmine, gifted to us by a Chinese exchange student, Paul Leong. Thank you very much, Paul. We don't play that as often as we should, so I'm a bit rusty on it. But
I'm really glad we're coming back to that tune because I really like it.
Yeah, great. Yeah.
I really like it.
So the next tunes we're going to play that fit this category of new additions to the Tasmanian canon. What are we doing now?
Well, I'll come back to that tune when I can find it.
That was the Ortaba Waltz you were looking up there,
yeah.
Which is an old edition. Doesn't fit into this category.
We did have it on today.
Yeah, we did. We were going to play it today, folks.
We're not going to do it?
Yeah, we'll do it.
Oh, we'll do it.
I just gave you that brilliant intro into one of these ones, and then
I know. Okay. All right. Sorry. You can tell we're super organised today. We are always organised. Okay, well then it's my turn then to hold the microphone.
Tell us about these tunes. What's your story behind these tunes? How long have they been in the canon and where'd they come from?
Okay, well we're going to play some tunes now that come from Scotland, the Shetland Islands specifically. And when I was 9 years old, this is a really quick backstory how I got into folk music. I saw a band called Fiddler's Bid for 10 days on the island. I was 9 years old and it just totally converted me to go, well, I want to do whatever that is on stage. Like, it was 4 fiddles, piano, bass, and it was just so driving and really awesome. And I was like, wow, I don't know what this is, but I really want to play this style of music. And I was just a very big fan and just learned a lot of their music by ear. And I was so much of a fan, Back then, I would email them. I was emailing one of the band members, Andrew, at the time, and he was very nice. Didn't, because I did meet them in person when I was like 9 years old at that concert, and I was, just too shy and didn't really talk much. This was like years later in my teens when I was just really getting into it, and I emailed them to ask if they had a tune book. And they said they hadn't written one. I don't know if they have yet. But Andrew, one of the fiddle players, posted me a handwritten letter and a handful of tunes. Some were written by hand, and some were one was they were written by hand that they'd photocopied. It was like five tunes they sent me. And I was just wrapped. I was in, college at that time, and I just felt really special that they had made the time
to actually write it out.
And post it to me.
And mail it to you.
And
was this pre or post-internet?
This was, MSN days.
Right, okay, so just on the cusp.
Just onto a dial-up. We still had dial-up at home.
You mentioned you saw them for 10 days on the island.
Yes.
That's a long concert.
No, it was for 10 days.
What is 10 days on the island?
Oh, it's a festival that happens in Tasmania. It runs for 10 days, and they have
different bands, not just one
different bands, and they feature different parts of the state. So they have shows up north of Tasmania, west of Tasmania, east coast, I think west coast, like all around. I think it's the whole point. It's like different concerts all around the state. So when I saw them, they were in Hobart, and we watched them at the casino. Ooh. That's where that concert was. Yeah, they haven't been back since as a full group since that time. When I was in my 20s, there was a duo from that band that came here, so I was able to meet them again when they came for that visit.
What's the chap's name?
So in the duo...
Yeah.
So in the duo, it's their harpist, Katrina, I don't remember her surname, and the fiddle player, Chris.
Right.
So and
this is from the band Fiddler's Bid in Scotland.
Yes. Yeah. So the first tune I'm going to play for them, it's called Michael's Mazurka. Mm-hmm. Now, I know the composer, Michael Ferry. He was a young Shetland composer, fiddle player. He died quite young. He died when he was 19. I believe he died from cancer, I think. So there was only a handful of tunes he wrote. And this is one of those tunes, Michael's Mazurka, which was included in the little pack I got sent over back in, if I was in college, back 2006. Yeah,
right.
I still kept the letter. It's somewhere amongst all my things.
We play this song a bit. Do we don't play it for dances though?
We don't play it for dances because again it's a bar lineup thing. I mean, maybe it depends. If we have a dance that requires a mazurka form, we could probably get away with it.
So bar lineup thing, you mean?
Yes. A certain amount of bars. Whenever we play for dancers, we need to have a certain amount of bars to line up with the dance so the dancers know where they are in the dance. Otherwise, it falls over. Definitely, it's got to count up. So, but sometimes there's Mazurka dances, so whether it works.
Awesome. Shall we play it?
We shall play it.
Michael's Mazurka.
Yes. Let's do it.
Great. Yes, I'm in tune.
Good.
Let's go. I went to that A minor too early. And I missed the first G minor. Did you notice that, folks? Yeah.
I did.
Yeah, I know. I'm sorry.
That's okay. I should say, so when in my diehard fan stage with the Fiddler's bit, so I got all their albums. I've got 4 of their albums, and I just I learned it all by ear. And I was such a fan, and my grandfather was a very big supporter in my music, and he used to work at ABC Studios. He used to be a technician in the radio room. And so he's like, Emily, why don't we record yourself playing along and we'll post it to them. So I did, I think I did 12 tracks or possibly more. I think I did like 14 of just myself playing along with them. Like I recorded along with myself just exactly, and I even added my own harmonies. And I posted that to them.
And she never heard from them again.
No, I think that prompted that prompted the letter with the tunes because Andrew Griffith is his surname, that fiddle player. He emailed me. He didn't email with the handwritten letter. He said we couldn't tell which one was you or us because I sort of just I was so, you know.
So we've issued you this copyright warning just to cover our bases.
Yeah.
It was before YouTube, though, wasn't it?
It was before YouTube. It feels so long ago now when you say it like that.
I know. And you know what? The funny thing about getting old, Emily, is things just get further and further away.
It feels so strange. But it was really special. I have to find that letter. I was trying to find it before today, but I don't know where it's gone. But I haven't. I know it's somewhere. I put it in such a good, safe spot. I can't remember where I've put it.
Wow. That's secure.
It's secure. But it's proof.
Yeah. So we'll play another song from this same sort of catalogue that you were given by these fiddlers.
Yes. So we've got to move into one that's, I think it's their third album of theirs. It's called Hamnataing. And I think Hamnataing is an island. I'm not 100% sure on that. And it's written by Christopher Stout, who's one of the fiddle players in the group as well, who came over back as the duo with the harp player. So this is his tune. And yeah,
so
going to play it to you now.
Hamnataing, or is it Hamnataing? Because it's spelled Hamnataing. And for some reason, people that we've showed this song really struggle with that. But just sound out the words, sound out the letters. Hamnataing. Easy.
Particularly if you say it like that.
Yeah.
Hamnataing.
That's why it takes me so long to read books. I want to make sure.
Do you read it out like that?
Yeah, in my brain. All the words must be correct.
No wonder you're happy your essays are done, man.
Yeah, yeah.
It would take you ages to proofread that.
I don't even proofread. I just chuck them in.
That's probably why you're angry.
I haven't got time. I know. I've got a headache. Migraine.
Anyway, this is Hamnataing.
Hamnataing. Well, crack on. Thanks.
Rock on.
Key of D.
All right. Nice.
Cool. Jaunty.
Jaunty.
I got lost reading the chords. See, if there's a bit of paper in front of me, I always get the trap of reading the chords instead of listening, and then I get caught between the two.
Yes, and then I just realised that version doesn't have great chords written out either.
I should have just listened.
I apologise
Yeah.
for leaving you in the dark there.
Shut up, emotions. God!
Go away, emotion. So annoying.
So the next tune that we're going to play. So we're doing some tunes here that have been early additions to the folk canon that we do play. So what distinguishes folk music from non-folk music? Who's to say these days? I mean, a lot of people just think it's got an acoustic guitar, it's folk. But I think folk is where you play the tunes amongst a community and share them as a community activity, I would say. So you might argue, is Bob Dylan folk music or not? Because he's a commercial entity, and you can't play his stuff on YouTube, as we will find out. I'm having a gripe about last week, if you want to know what that's about.
I was meant to ask you, did we get any more...
No. Nothing from him.
Nothing?
No.
Oh, okay.
I think in the deep subterranean reptile lair, I think a little red warning light went off, but they probably just ignored it. We have dissidents.
Demonetized.
Yes, we've demonetized those naked monkeys, and they're still making music. How do we stop them? I do not know, Grand Chancellor Reptilioid.
Jeez, Reptilioid. I should not have asked that question.
Let's destroy them. Anyway... Where was I going with that? Was I going anywhere? Was I just going around in circles? Do you know in Australia, when you go around in circles, you go anti-clockwise?
Oh my God.
Because of the Coriolis effect. I learned that at school.
You learned that at school. So pleased for you.
So these tunes, are they heritage tunes or not? Well, as far as the heritage goes, they've been part of a history. That history, in this particular case, is short. But we've got young kids learning these in the Heritage Ensemble and learning these tunes. And they'll take these tunes on and they'll probably teach, when they get to our advanced age, they'll probably teach kids as well, or jam on them or chew them around. And we're in a position now where these tunes, when they get laid down, we can record the authors. And I think that's a big difference between a lot of the Tasmanian canon and a lot of the more traditional Anglo-Celtic canon. Like a lot of those Irish tunes, it's either Turlough O'Carolan or they just don't know who wrote it.
That's true.
Whereas in Australia, it's either Percy Granger or we just don't know who wrote it. Well, in Tasmania's case, we absolutely do know. And so that information, I wonder how long. Most of the time. I wonder how long that information will be kept before it's discarded. You know what I mean?
Who knows? Well, if they're good tunes, people will play them. And they are good tunes. I teach those tunes a lot to my private students, and they've travelled up to the north end of Tassie and being taught up there, so that's really nice. So, branching out. And even one of the Tassie tunes, the Homebrew Polka, which I think we've played before on the podcast, I taught that to a student and she taught it to her friend in Scotland, and she did a live stream during lockdown, and she did a really nice take on her version of it and did it really slow, and it was really beautiful.
Yeah, we did serve her with a copyright notice after that. So
yes.
Not having that.
Not having that. So, it gets spread out, which is really nice, which is what I really love about it, because that's just how music works. I like it.
Great.
So we're going to move in.
Moving
on.
We're going to shake it. We're going to shake it, baby.
Please don't say that again.
We're going to shake it, baby.
That was so wrong.
My milkshake brings all the girls to the yard.
No, don't start. No, that's so wrong. It's just, you're just some weird beard guy with a banjo just being weird now. Please don't.
My lactic beverage attracts feminine species to my domicile.
I think they'll be going the other way. I definitely will be going far, far away.
I've got milkshakes, girls!
Yeah.
It's happened again.
I wonder why. Oh, God. So, okay, I have to keep pushing through, otherwise I just won't stop laughing when you keep doing it. I cannot do it. This tune's called the Ortaba Waltz, and I believe it's one that we have collected, and I'm not quite sure of the origin of this tune. Do you know?
No, I don't know, and we should have really asked the Steve Gadbot 2000.
We should have.
So after this goes...
Did we fix it?
No, I've got to get all the cards replaced.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's missing the Joker, Ace of Spades. Ha ha ha! Oh, milkshakes are for everybody. So no, but when this goes out, we know Steve Gadd's an avid fan and listener. Maybe he can let us know. So that was our official request, Steve, to let us know where the Ortaba Waltz comes from. Was it an Eileen McCoy tune? Was it a Paddy Dawson tune? Did someone write it? Obviously, someone wrote it. But,
or was it brought like the Jasmine, Marcus Mazurka, and we've just added into our repertoire.
Yeah.
And I'm sort of curious with this one. But it's a really pretty tune, and we're going to play it for you now.
Go!
Aren't we?
Okay.
Go! 1, 2, 3, go! All right.
Well, that was lovely.
That was lovely.
I love Tasmanian waltzes.
Or that may not be Tasmanian.
It is now.
What is now?
Suck eggs. It's ours now. Come and get it. We're an island surrounded by sharks. Just remember that.
Sharks and drop bears.
Yeah, it's dangerous. You want that tune back? I'll just leave it there on the table for you. That was the Ortaba Waltz. So,
with a drop bear drinking a milkshake.
What I like to do, this is a banjo technical thing I'm going to explain now, is like when I'm heading towards my cadence point. So your D7, if you're in the key of G, for those taking notes at home, D7 will be your 5 chord. And if you move the bottom half of that chord up 1 semitone, you get this D diminished chord just before you resolve to the... So you get this... A great way to add just a little bit of tension before you hit the resolution point. But use it sparingly, folks.
Use it sparingly. But it's nice when you do.
It is?
It's nice.
Thank
As
you
a
very
melody
much.
player, it's nice to have that because you
cool.
can sort of pull it around a little bit. I always like playing waltzes because you can do a nice, from a fiddle technical thing, I like to have fun with the, phrasing and the shades of, so putting tension on the string and just sort of having fun with that waltz feel.
Right. Colours.
Colours. Yeah, that's a better word. I like that
That's
one.
terrible. I used to use that all the time when I was studying music. Think of your colorations.
Okay.
Just make it sound good.
Make it sound good.
That's 4 songs, is it not?
It is. So we're up to our 5th one. And the last tune is, they're all a bit really chill today, our tunes. So we'll have to pick some faster ones for next week.
Well, next week. I'm glad you brought next week up. I was going to save this till the outro. Why not deliver it now? Next week we're going to be having a look at some Cape Barren tunes, and these are tunes that have a very strong involvement with the indigenous culture and peoples up there in Cape Barren. So when the Europeans came here, they treated the Aboriginal people quite badly. And cutting a long story short, a lot of them ended up on the northeastern island of Cape Barren, Flinders Island, that sort of area. And they had their own string bands and their own music and that sort of stuff, and sort of played along with it. Most of the instruments and harmonic devices were borrowed from our culture. There's a really interesting account See, when Tasmania was coming to the attention of the Europeans, the French got here more or less first and made contact on Bruny Island with the Palawa people. And they actually, all the French guys got up on the boat and sung them a French song. And the Aboriginal people thought that was absolutely hilarious because it was dreadful. So the Aboriginal people sung them a song, and it was the first time and one of the last times that the European culture met the Aboriginal culture, and they wrote quite a lot about how it sounded and that sort of stuff. And they wrote about it from their own musical sort of paradigm, if you will, or ontology, you know. But that's quite an interesting account, and sadly there was no record of that music or what they sung or how they sung it. But yeah, anyway, so the string bands up north had their own sort of style and their own sort of vibe and their own sort of community. And out of that area, there's been some terrific tunes, and they are some of my all-time favourite tunes to sing in the Tasmanian canon. Songs like Black Cat Piddled in the White Cat's Eye, which is my all-time favourite. And the reason why it's a favourite song is because it's so simple. You can put so much in it. So you can use it in this beautiful, the way the Indigenous people do it so well. You know, you can use it to include everybody. You can use it to teach the kids, and then you can use it to entertain the crowd, and the kids can use that as a vessel to get their chops up and so on and become professional musicians.
It's a great tune for those things. Yep.
It's just all it is. That's all it is, really.
Yep, no, it's a great tune.
And we'll play that next week, and we'll have a chat to some of the Cape Barren people and tell us about their experiences with folk music and what this music has meant to them, a little bit about the history. Tune in for episode 4. It's going to be a great episode.
Excited.
Yeah, I hope so. I hope it pulls it off. I hope I pull it off. I hope I manage to fulfill my promise to you, because if I don't, we'll come up with an alternative. And
if you don't, I'll beat him up for you.
Oh.
Not really.
She'll shake up me milks.
No, stop with the milks. I can't. It's too much.
Yeah,
it's crossing the line.
It's what did Stephen Fry say to stop bullying him?
I don't know.
So no, please don't hit me. I've got an erection.
Nice. Oh.
You're sick, Stephen.
Sorry.
So
Listeners.
you just watch out, Emily. I've got a whole bevy of defences I can hurl at you.
You see, but I know you'll use. Yeah, right. Yeah, you'll use them anyway. I've learned that with you. Anyway, look.
So tune in next week.
Tune in if you dare. No, please do.
Our final song for today.
So this one, we're going to finish off with the final tune that got included in that pile of tunes that was posted to me. And it's actually a traditional Irish tune. Fiddler's Bit did record it on one of their albums. And again, it was when they sent it to me via the post, it was handwritten underneath Michael's Mazurka. So, and found out maybe not long after that, realising it's a traditional Irish tune. It's called Inisheer. And I believe Inisheer is also an island. Off Ireland. I think. I'm so good.
Do you ever just Google map this stuff?
I could, but then I'll be like...
Well, folks, you could. If you're listening to this on the internet or on your device, you could Google these places and see them for reals.
You could see that I'm all about details. But I play the tune really well, so you can forgive me for that.
So that counterbalances our complete incompetence when it comes to giving you factual information, which is what this podcast is all about.
We don't promise, complete factual all the time.
No, we do promise incompetence, though. In fact, we bank on that.
And we never disappoint.
Never disappoint.
We never disappoint. No. All right, here we go.
Inisheer.
Tune number 5, Inisheer.
Nice slow one to end the podcast with.
Very nice.
This has been Season 2, Episode 3 of the Wolfe and Thorn podcast. We'll be back roughly the same time next week, hopefully. Maybe a little bit later.
If all things go well.
Or if all things go badly, it'll be a little bit longer.
Yes. You'll survive.
You'll be right.
You'll be right.
Thank you very much wherever in the world you're listening. My name is CC Thornley, and I've been playing the banjo.
Thank you for indulging us. I've been Emily Wolfe, and I've been playing the fiddle for you today.
Go on.
Oh, go on. Oh, sorry.
There you go. Thank you very much. Height of professionality. Hooroo!